real officers. Fucking names. Turn your mic off. Turn your mic off. Retard. Turn your mic off. Fuck you. It's Hulk. Fucking retard. Oh, fuck you, man. I'm playing my tunes at you. Ha ha ha. I really got you good. I played my tune at you. Oh, God damn it, people. Karina's still eating ice cream. What the fuck? She's still eating. I don't wonder why. She's got this conspiracy. She wants to sell ice cream to people, and that's why she wants human beings around, but she's fucking selling ice cream.
It's another one.
She's got some fucking Avon thing going on or something. I mean, yeah, I was talking about ice cream and pleasure. Yeah, I'm going to keep getting people to think that the ice cream is worth chasing. Yeah, she's going to make a penny on every ice cream cone she sells or some kind of shit.
I might do a bitch video. Let's see what you do then.
You know, it does seem like I have to argue with every one of your videos lately. It's like I have to correct you. Every time you make a video, I have to correct you.
I wish you'd have actually sort of had breakfast or something.
It's good though. Having an ice cream for years. Oh, God damn it. Anyway, I mean, back to just cleaning up the subject. You know, you know, it's always going to be a tough argument to make, and I still haven't made it precisely enough yet. But Bandit's right. I mean, if you just go back to the origin of the game is consumption and reproduction. The reason why we feel anything at all is because it was a motivational tool. So it was good at manipulating organisms and obliging them to play the game. And then we got intelligence, and that was just another tool we used to optimize how we feel, so we could maximize our functionality as this desire chaser, this cheese chasing thing. And so, I mean, in that context, it just seems very unlikely that there could be any kind of positive scenario here. You know, that this is actually doing something constructive. I mean, and to sit there and say that there's some way that maybe you could conceive where if you were building it, if you were God and you were saying, okay, I'm going to put in this little feeling thing and it's going to want the cheese, but there's not going to be a negative component. I just don't think you can build it without the negative component, and that's where it gets really dangerous. That's a hard argument. It's like there's an old Star Trek episode where, like, you know, the aliens are like really offended at humanity because they're like, oh man, you people are disgusting. I mean, you know, you're just living in shit, and your anger and your hostility and your war, it's also disgusting and offensive, and it's because their sensibilities have gotten so refined that they can feel the pee through the 17 layers of mattress. You know what I mean? They have such an acute high consciousness that it's so acutely sensitive that any little, you know, even just a little, you pull a hair on a mouse, you know, and it's a great hardship and pain to them. And that's sort of my argument, I guess, ultimately, is that if we did this honestly, we would realize that all of this negative is the real thing, and that the positive is just an illusion.
Hey Gary, did you ever see the one called The Arena, where fucking Kirk had to fight? I think his name was well, I forget what it was. He was that green monster and whatever, and they had to find the different elements on the planet, and and Kirk built like a fucking like almost like a
well, bandits figured out how to be uninterruptible. But you can't interrupt me now because it'll cause you all permanent ear damage. That's right, so you better not interrupt me when I'm talking.
I was reading, I don't know if you've read the Collision Orbit. It's like a science fiction story published in some science fiction magazine by Williamson, something Williamson, with, you know, in the 22nd century, we were colonizing everything. I think the story was written in the 70s or something like that. And in the 22nd century, we would be colonizing all the planets in our solar system, and also the asteroids. We were living on the asteroids. You know, so they made some kind of gravity correction called terraforming, so the asteroids could be sustainable for life.
Yeah, well, I mean, they did that on, like, that Mars thing, you know, remember that Schwarzenegger movie on Mars, and it was just so lame, because it's like, oh yeah, we live in a city made of glass. Yeah, and no one ever breaks the glass. Nobody ever does that. I mean, you know, never happens. No one ever gets pissed off and breaks the glass. I mean, it's just like, what the fuck? I mean, come on, it's just not possible. I mean, everybody was just threatening to break the glass. Everybody was just sitting there by the glass with a hammer, saying, do what I say or I'm smashing the glass, you fuckers. So give me all them women and give me some money and shit and give me everything or I'm smashing the glass. I mean, come on. Just no way it could ever work.
Yeah, and some nerd just corrected me that terraforming is not changing the gravity, you know, yeah, it's not, it's, you know, transforming everything, the atmosphere and the gravity and, you know, anything that is, it's not in accordance to life, to make it be in accordance to life, you know, temperature, everything. So yeah, but, you know, I was thinking, if you would have, you know, also in relationship to Egypt, if you would have an entire civilization living so separately from, you know, from the rest of humanity, how would they change, you know, over time? I'm not talking about, no, physically, but in terms of, I don't know, would they value the same things that we value now? In what direction would they go? Like with the Egyptians, they had basically no value for art. You know, they didn't, for them art was just building statues, and that was about it. And they had to be precise, and that was it. You know, there was no creativity. They didn't value creativity at all. So I was thinking, you know, a different civilization, how would that go?
Well, I don't know. That doesn't jive with what I mean, what is the Sphinx? The Sphinx is creative. I mean, you're combining a man and a lion. I mean, that's art. That's metaphor. So I don't know.
Yeah, but because the pharaoh ordered it, because the lion was the symbol, you know, of power. So it wasn't because they thought of it and they created it. Everything was, you know, it had to be according to a scheme. It had to be according to a plan. And actually, you know, when people were, for instance, when they were building Isis, they took out old statues of Isis and just reproduced them with, you know, some additional jewelry or something. So it wasn't anything, you know, they really didn't value creativity at all and innovation.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, well, I just don't know if any ancient cultures
really quick, and you know, and Chris is actually bringing up a great point, very romantic, whatever. Yeah, you know what humanity will bring us. That's it. That's what we are. we are what you're talking about. You're saying, okay, well, yeah, well, what will happen? You know, maybe 300, 500, 1,000 years later, us, a pile of fucking organic matter that doesn't really matter. Us, shit.
Yeah, well, the truth is going to be discovered by any culture eventually. It just matters on how open and receptive they are to it. So, but they're going to figure out that the sun's the center of the solar system. They're going to figure out that the Earth revolves around the sun. They're going to, you know, so all that shit's going to happen. And the fact that, you know, Egypt was in what's left over, you know, thousands of years later, you know, is I mean, I don't know if you can judge a whole culture by that. I mean, I don't know if that's fair, you know. But regardless.